Hello and welcome to the Reading with Cari podcast. New episodes air every Wednesdays with special mini-sodes airing on Saturdays on any device you listen to podcasts. Click the link in the description to find the podcast now. Thank you and enjoy. Hello and welcome to Reading with Cari, a mindfulness podcast series that can be used as a sleep aid or to ease your anxiety and relieve your stress. I am your host, Cari Favole, and I am so thankful that you've decided to spend some time with me. This week's episode is on the Ballad of Mulan. I personally love the legend of Mulan. A young woman goes into battle in place of her father, fights alongside trained men in war, and returns home, revealing her secret in her reunion with her family. There is supposedly a Chinese TV series that was a comedy based on this. However, I have been unable to find it in English or subtitled. An interesting note is that even though the romance between Mulan and Shang is not in the traditional legend, it is often explored in the retelling of this tale. But before we begin the poem, let's start with a peaceful breathing exercise. Find a comfortable position, either lying on your back or sitting comfortably in a chair. Arms resting wherever they lay, legs in a comfortable position. Make sure to release the tension in your shoulders. Consciously drop them, and I recommend closing your eyes. Focus your attention on your breathing. Don't alter it. Just notate as you inhale and exhale. And simply pay attention to what it feels like in your body to breathe slowly in and out. Now, I want you to bring your attention to your belly. Feel your belly rise and expand every time you breathe in, filling your diaphragm with oxygen, and releasing that oxygen as you feel your belly fall every time you breathe out. Continue just focusing your attention on every aspect and the full experience of breathing. Immerse yourself completely. Breathing in, what physical sensations do you feel? Do you notice that notch when you hold the breath for just a moment before you release the exhale? What does your body do when you exhale the oxygen? As the air releases either through your nose or through your lips. Feel the sensations. Imagine you are riding the waves of your own breathing. The ocean itself residing in your belly, deep in your diaphragm. The air coming in like the liquid of the waves and rushing back out on your slow exhale. And if your mind wanders, that's okay, it's completely normal. Just notate this and gently refocus back onto this exercise. The present moment of your breathing. Take a few more seconds to fully sit in this moment. And now here's the story. The Ballad of Mulan from the 6th century by Unknown. Translation found via Wikisource. Link in the description. The Ballad of Mulan is a folk song from Northern Dynasty's China. It recounts the story of Mulan, a girl who goes to war in place of her father. The pseudo-historical personage of Mulan probably lived in the 5th century when the Toba, who dominated North China, were engaged in a long war with the Waoran on their northern frontier. It is thought the ballad was collected into an anthology of yuehu in the mid-6th century and later popularized during the Tang dynasty. Translated by Jack Yuan, 2006. The sound of one sigh after another as Mulan weaves at the doorway. No sound of the loom and shuttle, only that of the girl lamenting. Ask her of whom she thinks. Ask her for whom she longs. There is no one I think of. There is no one I long for. Last night I saw the army notice. The Khan is calling a great draft. 12 volumes of battle rolls, each one with my father's name. My father has no grown-up son, and I have no elder brother. I'm willing to buy a horse and saddle to go to battle in my father's place. She buys a fine steed at the East Market, a saddle and blanket at the West Market, a bridle at the South Market, and a long whip at the North Market. She takes leave of her parents at dawn, to camp beside the Yellow River at dusk. No sound of her parents hailing their girl, just the rumbling waters of the Yellow River. She leaves the Yellow River at dawn, to reach the Black Mountains by dusk. No sound of her parents hailing their girl, just the cries of barbarian cavalry in the Yan Hills. 10,000 miles she rode in war, crossing passes and mountains, as if on a wing. On the northern air comes the sentry's gong. Cold light shines on her coat of steel. The general dead after 100 battles. The warriors return after 10 years. They return to see the Son of Heaven, who sits in the Hall of Brilliance. The rolls of merit spin 12 times, rewards in the hundreds and thousands. The Khan asks her what she desires. I've no need for the post of a gentleman official. I ask for the swiftest horse to carry me back to my hometown. Her parents hearing their girl returns, out to the suburbs to welcome her back. Elder sister hearing her sister returns, adjusts her rouge by the doorway. Little brother hearing his sister returns, sharpens his knife for pigs and lamb. I open my east chamber door, and sit on my west chamber bed. I take off my battle cloak, and put on my old-time clothes. I adjust my wispy hair at the windowsill, and apply my bisque makeup by the mirror. I step out to see my comrades in arms. They are all surprised and astounded. We traveled 12 years together, yet didn't realize Mulan was a lady. The buck bounds here and there, whilst the doe has narrow eyes. But when the two rabbits run side by side, how can you tell the female from the male? Despite what you may think about the live-action film that was just released by Disney and the controversy that surrounds it, I think we can all agree that the legend is a beautiful look at how society's view on gender can stifle an individual's true potential. War supposedly was no place for a woman, and yet Mulan survives 10 years on the battlefield as a warrior and returns home a hero. There is a Zen proverb that goes, "Only when you can be extremely pliable and soft can you be extremely hard and strong." And to complement this, Soyen Shaku says one should have the fearless attitude of a hero and the loving heart of a child. Thank you for listening. I welcome you back anytime you may need to hear a comforting voice or a familiar bedtime story.